My name's Lavon. I collect junk. Here's a perfect example, the top of a headboard I just couldn't throw away. I glued the veneer that was loose and clamped it, and I also used Dixie mud on the places that were chipped. So all that dried, and now it's time to sand it. I had to add another round of glue and mud. While that dries, I'm getting the new Pennsylvania Folk stamp set from Iron Orchid Designs, and it is brand new, so I am priming it. And how you do that is to take a 220 grit sandpaper and just go in one direction and then in the other, and that just helps to give the stamp some tooth. I start to mud the underside so it's smooth, and I begin to peel some loose veneer. Again, I didn't really want to get into all this in the back, but more veneer was peeling than I intended. At any rate, I peeled for a little bit, and then I decided to stop that nonsense and started to mud again. So, bigger project than I intended, but at least it will be smooth. I'm going to paint the backside of this anyway. We want it to look nice for the end user, even though it's just the backside. I think that I might sign this one. Even though I used Iron Orchid Design stamps, we all put our own spin on it, our own creative touch. So now I begin finally to put some paint on this piece, and I am using Barn Red from Dixie Belle. I feel like it's an appropriate color for this piece, since these are such primitive designs reminiscent of Pennsylvania Dutch hex signs and folk art, and Barn Red would be just a perfect color for that, as many hex signs were seen on barns. In case you wonder why barns are always red, it started back in the late 18th century when they applied a varnish to the barn surfaces, which contained sort of an oil with rust in it, which under the sun turned red. So then people began to do it traditionally. I measure to find the center, and as you'll see later, I don't do a very good job. But I just made my design just a tad off, so I start the stamping process anyway. But my ink pad hasn't been used in a bit, just a few projects. I usually try to re-ink it for every project. So shake the ink and just apply it to the pad. And I missed the outside edges. I got it really super inky. Might have wanted to blot it off a little bit because, as you'll see, I got a lot of ink on here, but that's okay. We'll take care of it. Any mistakes can be corrected with your paint again, so it's a simple process. I have just been so anxious to get my hands on this. These patterns remind me so much of the quilts. My mom had a love for Pennsylvania Dutch hex signs and Amish, and she was just all about that, and she loved the designs too. So she made some quilts that I will try to find some pictures of to show you guys that were just reminiscent of those designs. She usually did applique designs, and then she embroidered over them, and they were simply beautiful. She put a lot of love into her quilts. it's about here that I start to realize that my design is just a little bit off. Yet I still continue to stamp, and then I look at it again. I'm wondering if it'll work, and I get the measuring tape out and double check my center, and then discover that I'm 1 inch off. So after that dried, I just repainted a section. So that's okay. It's just a little practice that I got. Here I'm re-stamping all of the images to bring back the detail. I used Dixie Belle's black glaze around the edges. It looks blue in the jar, but trust me, it dries black. I paint the back of the sign just to give it a nice finish look. And lastly, I'm going to put my stamp on it. Remember what the top of our old headboard looked like before? Take a look at it now. Thank you so much for watching today. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up and share it with your friends. Don't forget to subscribe and hit that notification bell so that you don't miss a thing. Visit us at lavintagedecor.company. On Instagram, we're LaVintage Decor, and on Facebook, we're LaVintage Decor Altoona. Stay well.